Cheers, guys. Happy Sunday. Love that Pepsi today. It feels like it's been a month since last week. I don't know why. It feels like it's been a month since I recorded a video, and this week, over all of the others, has definitely been the hardest for me to sit down and think about what I wanted to talk about. Maybe because pulling into being more vulnerable, talking to a camera and putting it out on the internet to people I don't know at all. Don't know who watches this. You don't know who I am. I mean, maybe you do. But yeah, the more I do these, the more honest and open that obviously I will have to get. And really the only things that have been on my mind recently that I feel I can speak about is anxiety and change. Two things that, change can be good and bad. Anxiety also can be good or bad, but two things that can be looked at as strictly bad. My relationship with anxiety is I really haven't had much my entire life. I've always been that person who could kind of go through everything no matter what was kind of happening around me and find the good and not stress things so much. Always be hopeful and knowing, things will be better. It's okay. The rain will stop and the sun will come out. I was always the the glass half full kind of person, and that mindset of mine has certainly been challenged more than it ever has since becoming a father, I would say. More so recently, in like the last 6-7 months. My daughter is about 13 months old now. But my daughter grows up, the more real it all kind of becomes. And I'm 29. My daughter's only going to get older. I'm only going to get older. And the realization of the impact that I have now just doesn't impact my wife, but also impacts this little person that I'm responsible for. And with that has come the first real anxiety that I felt through failure, through not improving fast enough, through wanting to change and not being able to change. And I've been forced to really look at it and think about it more. I used to just be able to brush it off. It's fine, like whatever. I'm good. We're gonna be fine. But with a little one, it's definitely hit me a lot different, and I could be crippled by it. A lot of times my snap reaction to being overwhelmed is to not do anything. And there are days recently where that snap reaction is definitely forefront, but can't let that be the reaction to what anxiety is. Because last night I couldn't really fall asleep. I was sitting up thinking about, my career, about this YouTube, about trading, about what path I'm going down with all the small decisions I make every day. Where am I headed? What does this look like for my family? I was just up thinking about this stuff. That's anxiety, right? But primarily, focusing on things I could be doing better and what's just not working for me. But then, I realized in that moment, I'm like, wow, I think this is the first period of my life where I've truly felt what people who go through anxiety feel. And I'm looking at it as a good thing. You can look at it as a bad thing for sure, but I don't think that helps anything. So channeling the me that before having a child and anxiety became real, channeling that person who would look at anxiety that I have now would say that it's good. It's a good thing that I am anxious about the future. It's a good thing I'm anxious about the small decisions I make every day, and feeling bad about areas in my life that I'm not improving enough, maybe due to lack of discipline, lack of effort, and highlighting those areas of what I could be doing better. Because without that anxious feeling, without those nights where you can't sleep because you're worried about your family's future, the drive to do better, to become better, wouldn't be as potent. It wouldn't be as forefront in your mind. And that was a nice flip last night when I thought about that, because it felt like it was starting to, like, I could feel the crippling effect that it could have. But once I flipped that thought to be like, no, this is good. This is my mind trying to set me in the right path, to keep improving, to scare me from a future where I get complacent and just kind of willy-nilly through life. You need a balance. And I guess it took a kid, a human being that's dependent on me and my actions, to truly feel this for the first time. And it kind of crept up on me. I didn't really realize it was coming, and then it was just like, wow, it's here. So I kind of share that to talk to you if you do suffer from being an anxious person, having anxiety, that maybe you should view it a different way. At least try to view it a different way. See what it's trying to tell you, and understand that maybe it just wants you to be better. It's your mind trying to propel you forward rather than keep you complacent where you're at. And of course, snap reactions to it is avoidance. Scrolling on your phone, um, watching Netflix, doing things that take you out of the present moment to distract you from those thoughts and those actions that are required to face those feelings head on. And that's where I'm at in life right now. Where I'm at, I would say, a pretty pivotal point in my life. I'm 29, going to be 30 in March. 20s are about over, and they were a roller coaster for sure. But at the end of the day, I mean, I am so lucky. Probably luckier than I ever should be. And it's when you start forgetting what you have around you and really let those thoughts completely take over, that it could just get dark. So keep your head up out there. If this is something going on with you, I never really dealt with it before, but viewing it differently is a nice change. So maybe give it a shot, and see what it's trying to tell you. And then, part of my anxiety comes from a thought that I've had for so many years, and really part of this YouTube channel is to document is growth. And what is growth? Growth is change. And to be a successful trader, I have to change a lot about my life. That plane fly by. To be a successful trader, I have to change a lot about who I am, a lot about my personality, a lot about how I view myself, my relationship around money, uh, the ability to be bored. I mean, I have to change so many characteristics about who I am in order to be successful in this game. And I think the biggest one is the ability to just sit still. After many years of trying and failing, trading definitely, for me, the biggest hurdle I have is to just sit there, watch the market, watch the ticks, and just observe, wait for the right opportunity rather than trying to get an endorphin rush from putting risk on the table. So that, I mean, that's going to take work. And then, I mean, not even like relationship with money. Like most people who are born, whatever class they're born into, generally are going to stay in that class because it's just what they know, what they see around them. And it takes a lot of work, a lot of identity shifts in order to get out of that. Even like people who are born really wealthy, they just somehow happen to stay wealthy, just have a different view and relationship with money, and it just comes to them because they believe that it comes to them. And right now, like, my belief is that money is hard to get. You know, you got to work hard for it, which makes you overtrade because you're not doing anything. You feel like you're not working. And when you get it, you have to hold on to it as hard as you can. Like, I have a lot of relationship issues with money that I have to identify and improve. Because no matter how good I get at charts, if my relationship with money isn't good, it's just any money I make isn't going to stay in my pockets. So yeah, I mean, and I question a lot, is change even possible? Like, can we truly change ourselves? And I know deep down that the answer to that question is yes, because there's plenty of circumstances out there that I've seen people change their lives through, like near death experiences. Like, that's a good one where people can change their life immediately after a near death experience, or hitting rock bottom. People can change their lives after hitting that. But I don't want to hit rock bottom. I don't want to have a near death experience in order to be able to change fundamentally who I am and how I think. But every day that goes by, every year that goes by, it's harder and harder to change who you are. It's harder to change your habits. It's harder to change everything about yourself because you have so much memory of who you are and what makes you comfortable, what things you do because that's who you are. Like, all this is just ingrained and built into us. That every day, every year that passes by, it becomes less and less attainable in the mind and just harder to change. The longer a habit sticks with you, the harder it is to change. But with that being said, I do believe we can change without having to hit those moments. It's going to be extremely uncomfortable. And honestly, since starting this channel, I really don't see much of a difference in myself. And that's also the illusion of change that can hold you back. I'm reading a book, Atomic Habits, right now. I think it's a fantastic book for this period of my life and what I'm trying to do. But it talked about how if a plane redirects its nose by a degree, a small little move can completely change the destination over the course. 1,000 miles, or even a couple hundred miles. And you might not notice anything. What's up, guys? Sorry about that. My camera cut out, but I pretty much got the point across that I was trying to get. So yeah, if you guys made it to the end of this video, and you've been watching this series, let me know a little bit about yourself, why you've been watching, if you can relate to what I'm saying. Yeah, but I wish you all the best. If you can relate to what I'm saying, just know you're not alone. None of us are, that's for sure. This world is confusing, and change is hard, and anxiety is normal. And these aren't bad things that we don't need to look at these things as bad. They're trying to help us. So stay positive out there and be great. See y'all.